it's just real. Like, you're just like, oh, this is real life. This is real love. This is real commitment and real sacrifice.
It's almost like sacrifice is part of marriage.
Oh, what? I thought it was only about happiness.
Low key, I was kind of like, someone's just going to sacrifice for me. That's how the Disney movies make me feel, but it's mutual, turns out. Hello and welcome to the Christians Who Date podcast, coming at you live from Austin, Texas. And
Allie Christopherson with
Lauren Bornique from the LA riots.
oh no.
Oh my gosh.
So savage. I should not be saying that, but we do have riots right now. It's kind of crazy. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm safe. Sorry to pull that out of nowhere, but it's just on the top of my mind when I'm hearing sirens behind me.
gosh.
It's good for people to know that we're in the thick of it, in the thick of the current events.
There's current events going on everywhere. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
but don't worry, I'm
Mhm.
safe, everyone. If you're wondering, from fires to riots.
Yeah.
I love
Oh my
living
gosh.
in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
I really do, actually.
The funny thing is, I was gonna say the funny
I
thing
was
is
like-
you really do.
I'm like, I love where I live. I see mountains and I get to go trail running. So
Yeah.
but pray for LA when you think of it and our
Yeah.
nation.
If you're not already praying for our nation, you should start because we need it.
Yeah,
Always good
we
to
really
pray.
do.
By the time that listeners are listening to this podcast, by the way, it'll be a week away from us all three being together in Montana.
Praise
Oh
That's
my
kind of exciting.
gosh. I'm so pumped
The
to do some
countdown is
in-person
happening.
pods.
Whoa, pods.
We're gonna do
Whoa.
in-person pods.
Multiples.
Multiple.
Oh, we need to do multiples, but
Okay.
we can have this conversation off the podcast.
We'll talk to
Yeah.
the manager later.
Yeah.
Talk to our
On my
manager.
Montana vacation.
Bring your request to HR, which is
bring your
Lauren.
Yeah. I need you to bring your microphone on that hike that you want to go on because
Yeah.
we have some catching up to do.
For those that are listening, Kalli was like, okay, what do you guys want to do in Montana? And I was like, wow, my list is long that I have things I want to do. I was like, but it's okay if we don't do all
Yeah.
of them.
But
So-
I don't
we'll
think
make
I
it- we'll make 'em
responded, but
happen.
I liked Lauren's list.
You liked
Sorry.
my list.
That's a
Yeah,
good list.
didn't mean to talk over you, Kalli.
Yeah, I felt very disrespected by that. Thank you. Thanks for
Let's
apologizing.
just talk it out right now on the podcast.
The
We're
brave
fighting.
apologizing.
conversation live. Thank
Our
you.
first fight I think we've ever had.
Yeah. Well, it was about time. So
I've been waiting for a year on this podcast to
Yeah.
fight.
it's time to fight about
Yeah.
something besides National Treasure.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that was our first fight.
Yeah, that was our first fight.
But anyways, Andrea, what has your life been like the last couple of days? Just out of curiosity. No,
If you
no
look
real
at her
reason.
now,
goodness.
you'll know everything just by her disheveled look.
And I probably okay. All right. Well, and I think I have some sunburn.
Whoa, showing the shoulder
Whoa,
there.
Wait, do I?
Whoa, some
Andrea.
skin.
That is some
Actually, what if I
skin.
said it was behind my ears? So I
Yeah,
don't know
this
if we're
woman
gonna be
has
able to
not
pull that
slept
off.
or ate in 10 days. We can tell. Camp Dre.
I do feel like I've done so many camps that it's an alter ego at this point.
Oh,
Like
1000%. You're talking our ear off. I'm like, what is she saying? Okay, Dre, what did you do? What did you do
I
the
just
past
mean
couple
like
days?
I just tap into this like personality. I'm like, oh, it's Camp Dre now. Okay. Yeah, so I've been at camp. I've been at youth camp because I'm a youth leader. Shout out to my youth girls who listen to this.
Come
I love
on.
you guys. Anyway, so I've been at youth camp. Yeah, I did just talk to them a lot about it. And that was actually the short version. But anyway, it was really great. I think some of the highlights just in general are just like watching teenagers worship like crazy for 3 nights in a row was so fun. And a lot of kids just got impacted by the Lord and experienced the presence of God and got a lot of freedom and, you know, like forgave and did all these beautiful things that only happen when you have you kind of set aside time like that to focus on your spiritual walk with the Lord. So it was really, it was really beautiful. We got to hear their testimonies this morning, and I was just like, I love this. I love this so much. So
good.
That was the exciting, fun. Well, the other part was fun too, but that was like the beautiful part. The not as beautiful, kind of crazy part is that we also survived a tornado.
Casual.
The way you said that is like, I'm from Indiana, and I'm like, I don't even say that. Like, it sounds like you were in it, like in the funnel.
That's true. From Arizona, I've like never even had to do anything like this. But I guess, did you have to like go down to your basement a lot?
All the time. It was
No
like, it's like
way.
casual. You just bring your dinner down to the basement. You know, you're just like,
Wow.
another funnel.
Wait, that is crazy.
Yeah, you just get used to it. So
Another funnel.
another funnel.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm from Arizona. I'm not used to it by any means. I'm not used to weather,
neither.
really. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah. So basically I get the girls back to the room because it's like, you know, last night of camp, you go all out. It's like you worship for like a million hours and then you play dodgeball. And then you finally get yourselves back to, I mean, usually it's a cabin. This time it was a hotel. We had to do things a little different.
Oh, that's a bougie.
Very bougie.
Well, yeah. If you actually break it down, it's less bougie, but we'll get into that later.
The logistics.
The bed
why
bugs.
we had to do a less bougie version of camp. But anyway, so we get back to the hotel. We're on the 3rd floor. I finally I'm getting the girls in order, you know, like I'm like, this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna brush our teeth and we're gonna go to bed. Because if you've ever been a leader in these scenarios, you know that you reach this moment where you're like, we are going to bed. Like,
no matter
it is
what.
happening. Yeah.
I was totally that girl that was like talking to everybody. And I'm like, we're going to party all night long.
I'm sure. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Having Lauren in my cabin. Just kidding.
Wow.
Make you crazy.
So anyway, we were like figuring it out. I have this whole talk with them, and then our phones start going off, and it's like tornado warning because a tornado had touched down, I guess, and been spotted somewhere close. It was actually across the highway. I don't think we knew that at the time, and so we're like, we're on the 3rd floor. This probably isn't the best. And so the leaders start like our little group chat, like, what should we do? We end up taking all of the camp kids down to the lobby. So we're all in our pajamas. Like, some kids have pillows. We're like lined up across the walls, trying to get away from the windows. And just like trying to figure, like, it's not like Indiana where we're kind of used to it. Like, I feel like Texas is every once in a while you'll have a tornado watch or warning, but it's not super common. So it's still kind of like, what the heck do we do? And we ended up being there for an hour and 20 minutes, like waiting it out and just making sure that all the kids were safe and stuff. And it actually did end up being like pretty fun. I think it'll be a core memory for a lot of them and me, definitely. So it was a fun bonding opportunity, but I was like deliriously tired. And now today I'm super deliriously tired. So I hope that raises your expectations for what this podcast is going to be like.
Unhinged.
Unhinged podcast.
Unhinged Camp Dre.
I love it.
Yeah.
All about it. Oh, so good.
Wild. Yeah. Man, I could have called you and you could have like talked me through that whole thing. I didn't realize you were such a tornado like
expert. No, I needed you to experience it on your own and then we could debrief later. I need you to learn your survival skills.
Yeah.
Throw you in the deep end.
Arizona, I never had anything. Yeah, I had never had anything weather related. Then moved to California, had to run from a fire with Kalli.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many wildfires.
That honestly reminds me, like when the fires were here and they're like starting 3 miles north of me, I'm like, I'm getting out of here. And my neighbor was like, well, until they tell me to evacuate, am I going to do anything? Because she grew up in California. She's like, whatever. Like, I can see them. Once they tell me, I'll evacuate. And I'm like, I am leaving. I can see the fire. You know, so that's the difference, I think.
That's how Florida is with hurricanes. Like my brother and sister-in-law live there. And we were there when there was like some kind of hurricane close, but they were not worried about it.
Yeah.
And I'm
They
like,
can
this is
kinda
the
get
craziest
desensitized.
storm I've ever seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So
Well,
wild.
should we talk about what we're talking about today?
Today we are talking about camp crushes. No, I'm just kidding.
I wish.
A
I
whole
definitely had
episode
plenty.
devoted.
Oh my gosh.
Me
Okay, we
too.
definitely will do that.
I was gonna say, if we can figure out how to do a whole episode on camp crushes,
That's hilarious.
I know we've all had them.
Oh,
Oh, for sure.
1000%.
Camp
Yeah.
crushes are
1000%.
strong.
Dude, there ain't no crush like a camp crush. Yeah.
Oh
It's
man,
so
mine
great.
lasted 2 years. So, oof, back in the day.
Whoa, are you okay there, Cal?
Yep. Just had to really release all the feelings that came up from my camp crush.
Camp
Your
crushes.
Just the memories right now
Yeah,
coming back
overwhelming.
in a flood.
Okay, something I will say before we get into our topic, I think what I like about Camp Crushes is it's very nostalgic. There's like
Yes.
very good feelings about summer and about love and like,
Yes, yeah.
do they like me or do I like them? And you like have your end of the like week, whatever, like goodbyes and
Yeah.
oh, romance.
And it's fun because you like really do run into them a lot because you're like in the same area for like a week or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And so you
Catch
just keep
eyes.
crossing paths. Yeah.
Oh my, or you like stalk them like I would.
Of course.
I got really good at like, you know, always showing up somehow where they were. I'm like, that's stalking. I think I stalked them. So
They're like,
anyway.
aren't you supposed to be in the girls' cabin?
I'm like, what are you doing here?
I'm
Is
like,
this,
whoops.
Lauren, is this when you had your bowl cut?
No, but let's just say I saw a girl at the park that had a bowl cut the other day, and I was like showing my boyfriend. I was like, do you want me to get my hair cut like that? And he's like, I would love that. And I started showing him all my bowl haircuts from childhood, and I'm like, why did my mom do that to me? It was horrible. I looked like a little boy. Anyways, that's another story. Okay, so what is our
Okay.
topic?
Okay, for real. Lauren nicknamed this the Influencers Podcast because we're going to talk about some of our favorite marriages. These are people we know. These aren't like
In
celebrity
history.
marriages.
Like Kalli and Justin Bieber.
Love them.
George and Martha Washington.
Come on.
Birth the nation.
Billy Graham and his wife
We
Anna
don't
Graham.
even know. Do you know? Yeah.
Mrs. Graham.
And Mrs. Billy Graham. Anyway, so we just wanted to talk about like some people in our lives that we've gotten to see because these are real marriages. Like it's important, you know, the celebrity social media marriage is one thing, but seeing people that you do day-to-day life with really crush it, or at least, you know, be really intentional about pursuing their wives or yeah, like building their relationship with their husband. So we wanted to just share some of the things that have really inspired us, some of the things that we've loved about getting to be in these couples' worlds and hearing them talk about each other and all those kind of things. So did you have anything that you wanted to add to that, Lauren? This was your vision originally.
This was my vision, but honestly, you shared so well, so I have nothing else to say but that I back up what you shared.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's because I took that 45-minute nap before hopping on here.
That's
and
why.
you had 3 things of string cheese,
I
so
did.
you're fully replenished.
That's right. There's actually only one person on this podcast right now who has not had 3 string cheeses today.
And it's not me, and it's not Dre.
Yes.
So,
Well,
Kalli, you need to work on that quota later.
sorry. I do pound some string cheese, so today is an exception, honestly. I usually do.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is a
Rare
wild
day.
start to this podcast.
Okay, yeah.
Bless everyone who's made it
Anyways.
15 minutes into this podcast. Okay, who wants to start with we'll just go around. We can just share stories and go from there. Cal, you want to go?
I can start. I'll jump
Start
in.
us off,
Let's
Cal.
do it. Dive in that deep end.
I
Dive
will.
in.
Thank you. So I'm going to start with some friends of mine. Their names are Richard and Libby. They've been married for, I don't even know, probably like 12 years is what I'm guessing. They have like 2 kids, one on the way. And I think when I met them, because I met them together, I was like, wow, this couple is really incredible. Like just the way that they treat each other. They'll often like brag about each other behind each other's backs, which I love.
We love that.
They're the same kind of people that you see like in public and in private, because they'll often like speak at church or just like help with like conferences and events. And I love when they lead together because they are such a good team. Like they have no problem sharing, I don't know, for lack of a better word, sharing the spotlight, but being like, hey, I think you have something to share. Why don't you share? And they just do such a good job of bouncing off of each other and encouraging each other. And they're also really affectionate with each other, which I love. Like they're just really cute. They'll just like give each other hugs or just like a little kiss on the cheek or something. And it's just one of those marriages that I'm like, oh, you guys just genuinely really enjoy each other and love to like tell other people how much you love each other. And it's you know, I'm sure we've all met those couples where you're like, all right, this is a little much, but them, it's like so genuine and like endearing, and you're just like, oh, and it just, I think it makes you really like walk away being like, wow, that was really impactful. Like the way that they built each other up and love each other and spread that to whoever they're around. It's just really sweet. So they're a couple that I really admire.
Wait, can I also say something about them?
Yes. Andrea knows them too, so jump in.
Go.
Yes. I also have spent some time with Richard and Elizabeth Gordon. I feel like I just want to say that because don't they sound like they should open like a high-end fashion line?
Yes, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's amazing.
The names of a king and a queen, Richard and Elizabeth.
Seriously, I've thought that multiple times. But if Libby, if you ever listen to this,
you heard it here.
But I think part of what makes like this kind of is what Kalli was saying a little bit, but part of why you love being in the room with them is because even though they love each other, they're also so good at making you feel like you're the most important person in the room. Like I'm like, how is Richard making it feel like I'm the most important, but also Libby is at the same time? Like they're just so like those people that lock in and they are asking questions, they're asking how you're doing and they really want to know. And you know, like it's just they're both like people that you're like, oh, this is probably what it's like to talk to Jesus, you know? Like
so beautiful.
Yeah, like he just like they both take time for people. Like you never feel like, you know, I gotta like give them a quick update or something. I gotta rush through this fast. Like they both just give you space and they really just love people really well. So and that is one of my dreams for my marriage, is that like my husband and I would be people that you want to be in the room with, you know, because there are those couples and you're like, okay, you know, maybe there's a time for the honeymoon phase or whatever, but they're just so locked in on each other that you're like, okay, I don't know why I'm here. You know, like I'm basically like a prop at this point. Like it's like I'm not even in the room. So that's what I love about them, is they genuinely, just like, I don't know, they like love each person that's in the room.
Very intentional,
very relational. Yeah,
so good. I love that. Dre, do you want to share another couple?
Sure. We're actually trying to have this couple come on the podcast, but
we've been waiting.
They're busy. Yeah, they're busy people.
Is it the Millers?
It's the Millers.
I knew it.
Yes.
Brie and Marcus.
Brie and Marcus. They're fun because I got to walk with Brie through being single and then dating and then marriage, and they're like two amazing people, but their dating story was like rough.
Come on.
And they really had to deal with a lot. And so I think part of the reason I love their marriage is because I know that it was not this thing that just like came together so seamlessly, you know, like they both really had to wrestle and decide like, okay, we're going to choose each other. We're going to take a risk. And it's worked out. Like they have such a beautiful marriage. But I think some of the things I love, I love going and visiting them. I think it's so fun just to hang out with them. And, you know, that's another couple that's actually like fun to be around.
So fun.
Yeah, goals. But they just look for ways to be present and enjoy each other and enjoy life. And they love holidays, and they kind of they've purposely set up their lives so that they have these moments where, you know, they just appreciate like what's going on. And if they find joy in something, they really make sure to take time and make space for that, you know, like they're not like, oh, it's silly to be this into Christmas. Like they're like, no, we're into Christmas, so let's, you know, let's go all out, let's decorate the house, let's, you know, let's really go for it. And so that's one of the things I've loved about getting to hang around them. And they're both very intentional and both working on themselves in a way that makes their marriage better. And I can just see that they're constantly working on, you know, communication and making sure that they're healthy so that they can be healthy together. And I think that's just really inspiring to watch. So shout out to Brie and Marcus. Please come on the pod.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually continue with that. I was really impacted by Brie and Marcus as well. We're all just like, oh, that couple.
Yes, they're
Yeah.
amazing.
I remember visiting them, and distinctly they had worship music on, and it would just be like in the background in their house. I was like, oh, they're just like a home of worship. And Marcus was like praying over me one night, and Brie was like worshiping God, sitting on the couch. And I remember crying because the words Marcus was saying over me, but I was like, this is the type of family I want. This is the type of life I want to live, is a life filled with God and freedom and love and hospitality. They're so hospitable. They're so just like wanting people to be a part of their life and their love. They're not this like, oh, it's just us and nobody else. Like they want everyone to be a part of their community and family and who they are. And they're so generous. And I just was like, oh, this is such a great picture of friendship and marriage. And so I feel like, yeah, Brie and Marcus have done such a good job, and they're just so incredible and so fun. And they're different. Like Brie's more introverted, Marcus is extroverted, and they work so well together. I think they balance each other in a lot of ways. So
yeah. One other story from being with them, because they live in San Diego, so I went to visit them one time, and we were driving, and you could see the ocean on the road that we were driving on, and the sun was setting over the ocean. And instead of just keeping going to get home, because I think we were driving home from dinner, they pulled over and they were like, let's just watch the sunset for a little bit, because they saw it and wanted to take a moment to actually slow down. And they call it like resourcing or something. Have you guys heard about this?
I just say be still. I don't know.
Oh, I wish I like had looked it up, but it's a whole thing, because you're storing up like good feelings or like joy or like, and that you can, or peace, and it's like a moment that you can pull from later, I think is the gist of it. Anyway,
that's cool.
If they come on here, they can explain it.
Yeah, this is what happens when we all eat ice cream, if you eat the right amount. Resource.
Oh yeah, resource. Yeah,
resourcing.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty much the same thing. Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Lauren.
Yeah. So their name is Jess and Josh, and I actually have only knew them for a week, and that's how much they impacted my life. And I've not talked to them since. This is years ago.
Wow.
So Jess and Josh, my sister was nannying for them, or another person was nannying for them, and I was randomly like at home for that summer. And this is probably over 10 years ago. And they were like, hey, we just need a nanny for a week. And I was like, great, I can nanny. I was their neighbor at the time. So I knew that they were Christian, but I didn't know much else about them. So they had 3 little kids, all under the age of 5. Jess and Josh were both doctors. So they both worked full time and then like had a nanny in their home for their 3 little kids. And I just kind of spent a week where I'd get to see them kind of come in and out of work and all that. But a couple things I admired about them is like they were truly best friends. Like they respected each other so much and they were best friends and they'd go on all these adventures together. So they would go hiking with their kids who were like these little kids. They both did triathlons. They both like that summer had someone watch their little kids and they biked across Europe together for like a week. And they both would run every day together. And so they like love the same things. But I was like, they're living life to the fullest with these little kids, which I think some people are like, your life's over when you have kids.
Right.
But they were just inviting their kids into that journey. But also you could tell that they put their marriage first. And then I saw they both had their Bibles by their beds. And that was just something that was like so powerful. And they just shared like a little bit of like, oh yeah, we have Bible study together with our family, or like we'll go to a Bible study as a couple. That's like really helped us. They'd kind of share these things with me as I was like in and out of their house that week. And I was just like, oh, they're just being themselves. But it was just so powerful because I'm like, you're doctors, you guys do triathlons, you have 3 kids under the age of 5, you go camping with them, you love Jesus, and their kids were so alive. Like, I don't know how to explain it better than that. Like, they just were like always wanting to be outside. They were like connected to screens. Like, they were like truly friends. And they were kids. They still like, but the way that the parents just like talked to their kids and respected their kids and empowered these are little kids all under the age of 5. I was like, oh, this is the type of parenting I've always envisioned myself to have, where my kids are not just babies, but they're like humans I want to help grow into like their fullness. And they treated them with so much respect, even though they were so little. Like, and I was just like, what is this? This is amazing. And I could tell that those kids loved their parents, like, and respected their parents, even at such little ages. So, I was just like overwhelmed. And so actually at the end of that week, I went home. I almost get emotional now. I went home because I just hadn't seen a marriage like that yet, of the marriage I would want to have and the family I would want to have. I went home and sat in my car and wept.
Oh my gosh.
I wept because I was so thankful to see a picture of like a life I would want and a life I would hope for. I had vision, and the vision just like filled me. And so they don't know how they've impacted me. I probably should tell them. I think they're still in that house. But it so marked me. It so marked me. And so they just showed me like, oh, this is possible, of like, you can really live like a full life with your kids and not lose your life. And so,
yeah. I love that. Yeah. I love when people are still themselves. Like they don't change their entire life or their entire personality. Like you're just like, oh no, you're still doing the same things. It just looks different now.
Yeah.
I think
and
that's
they just
so cool.
Invited their kids into the fullness of their life. And I was just like, that is so cool. Yeah. It's not like, oh, these are a burden, or I lose my life and my relationship for my kids. It's like this beautiful dance that they were doing. Yeah. Of all.
It's like kids enrich your life. They don't drag you down.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. So, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kalli.
So good. Wow. Oh, I love that, Lauren. I'm like, I feel so impacted.
I was like,
me too.
In my Toyota Camry, and I was just like,
I'm like, can we go meet these people?
Yeah. How do we get in touch? Okay. So the next couple I wanted to talk about are my friends Gabe and Louise, and this couple. Oh, I love them so much. I met them. Man, it's been like 10 years ago now, which is insane.
Wait, yeah, that's crazy.
They led a mission trip to Wales that I went on that like really impacted me. And this couple, they're just like so gifted in like ministry, but just in loving people and also being really down to earth and fun. And that was something like I had never seen. I'm like, wow, you guys are so like, I guess, spiritually mature in the Lord, but also like you're very just like normal. Like we'd play
Yeah.
games, we'd like watch movies. And there was a period of time when I lived in California and I was kind of on my own and just kind of figuring out like what I wanted. And I reached out to them and I was like, hey, I don't know if you guys would be like open to this, but I really love you guys. Would you kind of like mentor me a little bit? And they were like,
So good.
absolutely. Like, we'd love to. And
Yeah.
so they would just have me over for breakfast sometimes. Louise would make these like waffles with chocolate in them. And they would just ask me about life. And one time they went to Oregon and they're like, yeah, we're going to go like speak at this church. Do you want to come with us? And so I literally just got to go with the two of them. And I was like, this is like, you know, quality time is like a big love language of mine. Throwback to last week's episode. But I was just like, wow, the fact that you guys would like pour this much like love and like just be so intentional with me. And like that just has really marked me. And anytime I've needed anything, they've been there for me. And even times when I'm like, when money wasn't like was looking bad, like they would just like give me money. Like, they were just
so sweet,
so generous. And
yeah,
it's like, and for them too, like no matter I feel like what stage of life they've been in, they've been so generous. And that's really, really impacted me as well. So
and you're so generous. So
thank you. Well,
thank you to that couple.
It's that
them. Made you who you are.
And other people. So many people have been generous to me. So it's just a natural response now. But yeah, I love them. So thankful for them. Yeah.
I love
Andrea?
when people who are so close to the Lord are also so normal.
Yes. It's really nice.
It's so nice. You're like,
because we're like so not normal. So
yeah,
it's like
right.
We're so out there.
That's why it's so refreshing. Yeah. I'm like, whoa, you're so grounded. No, just kidding. That's what I love about these two also. That's why they're my friends. I mean, Lauren wasn't like super normal when I met her, but now she's like really mellowed.
Like, she's chilled out.
Really mellowed. I've mellowed out. I was hanging out with a friend yesterday, and they're like, "You want to get dinner?" And I was like, "I gotta go to bed." And it was like 8:30. I was like, "I've gotten old."
Oh
I was like,
my
"No, I gotta go to
gosh.
bed."
Oh my gosh, so funny. This is another couple this is a couple we've already had on the podcast. And they actually kind of tease me because I sing their praises so much, but that's okay.
They're worthy.
There's a reason.
I'll just take another moment to pump them up. But Tim and Naomi, who are the youth pastors that I serve under for church, like, yeah, this is the camp and everything I just went to was through them. And what I love about them is, again, they're just so relational. Like every time I go over to their house to babysit or something, like they'll come back and we'll just spend hours talking. And I have to stop myself. Like I'm like, these are parents. They don't get to like sleep in. Andrea, you need to go home. But I have to make myself go home because I just love talking to them. And they're also so refreshing to be around. And they just love people so well.
Yeah.
And I really love watching them parent. They just tag team it in a way that's really beautiful. Like I feel like they're kids. You know, like I feel like the old fashioned way was maybe kids feel closer to mom and dad, you know, it comes home from work and you get to hang out with them for a little bit, but it's like, I don't know, mom's like the one I spend the most time with. And I feel like these kids, it's almost even. Like, I mean, I don't know that it really is even. Sorry, Naomi. She's probably listening. Naomi's like, what? No, I'm just kidding. But it just feels like they really get access to their dad and their mom in a way that is really amazing to watch. So yeah, they're another couple that has really inspired me. And the other thing I was thinking about was, because I think this is true of all the couples that inspire me, and it's cool to think about because I've been listening to messages from this other church in Austin called Red Rocks, and they've been doing like this relationship series.
Shout out.
I know, yeah. Shout out to Red Rocks. They have a lot of like fun stuff, so I've been going there for services too. But they what was I gonna say? Oh, so they've been doing this like marriage series or relationship series, and they've said one of the things they emphasize is your marriage is not the mission, but marriage is part of the mission. I don't know how they say it. They say it a lot more eloquently. I'm sorry, I probably just botched that up.
It
But
sounds good to me.
okay, the idea is like marriage is not the end goal. Like marriage isn't the prize.
No.
Your marriage is part of serving the real end goal, which is the kingdom.
That's good.
Yeah.
True.
So I really love that. And I think what stands out to me about all the couples that I picked to highlight, and definitely Tim and Naomi, is their marriage is not the end goal for them. Like
That's good.
they are married, but they're both on mission together to bring, people into the kingdom. And specifically right now their emphasis is on youth, but that could look a lot of different ways, and I'm sure it will look different ways in different seasons, but I'm like, oh, Jesus is the main thing for them, and the kingdom is the main thing for them. And that's a foundation that you can actually build a marriage on, because if you make marriage the end goal, I just think you'll be disappointed. Like, I don't know that firsthand, but I think that's why people get disappointed with marriages, because they're like, wait, is this it? Like, this person isn't fulfilling everything, because they're not meant to. Like, it's, you're also meant to be fulfilled from tapping into your purpose and the reason that you were placed here on the earth, and something bigger than just you or just you and your spouse. So I think that's something I love about them.
So good. They are wonderful. We love you guys.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Way to make it through youth camp, by the way.
Yeah.
For them.
Heroes.
No, yeah, for real. Both of you.
Oh my gosh. Awesome. Well, I'll share another couple. Hopefully I can hold it together and not get teary-eyed. But I want to give a shout out to my parents. John and Tammy. So Papa John is my stepdad, but I would say he's my dad. Like, he's gonna walk me down the aisle one day. Like, but they I remember actually my mom was a single mom with 4 kids. And I guess I told my mom, like, Mom, I want a dad for my home. And she was like, okay, well, let's like sit up the end of my bed and pray. And so we prayed. 7-year-old me prayed at the end of my mom's bed on our knees. And she started dating John like 2 months later.
Wow. No way.
Or like a month later. It was crazy. And then they got married pretty soon after, and they've been married almost 27 years now.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, I'm like, go God. So but I think like what I appreciate about their marriage, well, first of all, props to my stepdad, because he has a daughter of his own, and he took on 4 kids, like, and a wife and 3 cats. We always laugh about the 3 cats, because my mom did have 3 cats at the time.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a lot. He took on all, like, he moved into our house. We didn't have to move out of our home that we knew.
Wow.
And he like left his life to just like go on this adventure with us crazy messed up kids at the time. And I just think like the way that I saw him like really, first of all, like defend my mom. I don't know how to better describe it. Like, he just really fought for my mom's heart. And it was like, if us kids disrespected my mom, like, he would like stand in the gap. And at first you're like, who's this guy? But I just look back and I'm like, oh, he was a protector of my mom, because he knew like, if we're like, they're a unit, then it's going to better our whole family. And it totally did.
Wow.
And so those beginning years were hard, because it's like, who's this guy coming to my family? But I just saw how he fought for my mom's heart and put her first, and then put our family first. And he always loved us kids, and just like gave so much. And I think over the years, I just more and more, it's like just fall in love with who he is as like my dad, because he never tried to be my dad. He just was there and a provider and like a support, and just always advocated for me. And so I think I just see the way that he advocated for my mom's dreams and us kids, and and all that. And so I'm just like so grateful for the marriage. And then today, 27 years later, they're just best buds. They do everything together. Like they'll go on walks together. They do morning devotionals together. They pray together. They go have like community groups, and they know each other's schedules. Like they're just really good friends.
Yeah.
And they always are laughing. And I was like, I think that's like the key to a good marriage is like
Yeah.
laughing a lot. Like they just are
Yeah.
always cracking up about, I don't know, I don't even know what they're laughing about, but they're just hilarious and they're goofy. And I think what I love is seeing my mom be herself. Like I just think my mom, she just gets to be Tammy,
Yeah.
and that I'm like, that's the best life. And you just get to be loved for you. And God is like totally a part of all of that. And they're always sending me things about like, we went and met this person and prayed for them and told them about Jesus. Like they're just crazy evangelists. They're always talking to people wherever they go about the Lord. And I just feel so inspired. I'm like, that's such a beautiful life. They're living such a full life. And and it's honestly, their life is getting only fuller from what I've seen. They're not like slowing down. If anything, they're amping up in like their love for God and their community and all of that. And they've had their ups and downs throughout the years. So I think I just am like just so grateful to see them throughout the ebbs and flows of like really hard years. And their marriage was never hard between them. It was more like circumstances around them that were hard. And how they just like really stuck together. And it was like so nice to have parents where not everyone gets this, where I was like, oh, they'll be together forever. Like it was, it's so securing being in a second marriage, a part of that, not having your parents separate and that being destroyed, but then to have two people come together where I felt so like, no, they're in this for life. And I just know it because of their character. And so that's brought so much like safety and security in my heart. Not that we're to depend on our parents for like everything, that's ultimately God, but I've just been so grateful for them and like the gift of their marriage and how it's really shaped and turned my life for the better over the years. So
yeah, that's such a contrast to today, because we're all looking for this perfect scenario, where I'm like thinking about how many guys would be like, oh, 4 kids, like
3 cats.
Yeah, 3 cats.
No one likes cats.
Yeah. Oh, I have to move into her house. Like, like these are all things boxes that guys are like, nah. And girls do it too, maybe it looks a little different, but girls do that too. And it's like, your stepdad really decided like, no, I'm going to lay my life down for somebody else. And and not keep looking for this, quote unquote, like idyllic scenario where, it's
totally,
where I don't have to like come in and sacrifice at this same level. But look how beautiful, look how much beauty has come out of his sacrifice. Like it's amazing.
And he always says throughout the years, he's like, that was the easiest yes.
Oh my
and in my
gosh.
brain, I'm like, how is it the easiest yes? But he's just like, oh, that was the easiest yes.
Oh,
like
I
to your
love
mom and to you kids.
Oh, that's so
and I'm
beautiful.
just like, that's the heart of the Father, because we were, let's just say we were a hot mess, and we were a hot mess for years, our family. So I'm like, bro, way to go.
Wow.
So, not my mom. My mom's awesome, but us kids were a mess. So
Yeah.
anyways, we're doing okay. Doing okay.
Oh,
so
yeah. I do think, well, yeah. Okay. I'm not going to start on it.
What do you think? You can jump in there.
Okay. I was going to say that I think, to the dating app culture is a little bit like you look at it as a list and you're like, tick, 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 like, oh, nope, doesn't work. But the beauty of like your mom and John is they became friends. And so he really got to know her, and it was like, no, she's worth it, actually. Like it's like on paper, when you don't know someone, it doesn't look like it's worth it. But then once you get to know someone and you're like, actually, I'll do a lot for this human, like their character and who they are and how much I enjoy being with them makes me want to take this on, like, and I think
for sure
that maybe we miss sometimes when we only get that surface level look at people. So
and I think like what's powerful is he was actually fasting and praying like right before he met my mom or started dating her. He was literally like fasting and praying like, God, I just surrender my life to you, whatever you want.
Wow.
And then it's like God just like took him on like a whole new life adventure.
Wow.
So I don't know. Fasting and prayer, it does stuff
Dude.
sometimes. So
Sometimes. I love
I'd
that.
argue every time.
every time. So
Wow.
It may not
Anyway.
do what you want, but it will do
That's
something.
true. It does something every time.
it does something for
Yeah.
sure. So
Wow.
Kalli.
So good. Okay, my third couple that I've selected are Abby and Justin. We're all
woo-hoo.
fans
All of our lists.
their podcast.
They really are on all our lists. Yeah.
They're pretty wonderful. They are life consultants in Redding, California, where we all went to school. And also, Abby was a pastor in the school that we went to, and I got to be in like her group for about a year. And so I got to see these two up close, and there's so many things I like really love about them. But funny, one of the things I love is that they give each other crap, which, you know,
We love
Andrea and I've said we both
we love
really appreciate that. And I just love it. Like sometimes,
The
especially
teasing.
Justin will just like roast Abby and she's just like crying, laughing. And other people might be like, what's happening here? But it's just like so fun. Like they genuinely just like, it's very playful. It's very like, just their own dynamic. And yeah, other people might be like, what's going on? But it's just like so fun. I love that. Within their podcast, they talk a lot about just like relationships and so many things. But something I've appreciated about them is pretty upfront. I think it's even in their intro, but they're like, we're really messy. Like we have crap. Like they're like, we do not have this figured out. We're just like trying to do our best and kind of go from there. But I love it because both like within the school, when I got to hear them like in some of those more like smaller group settings, and then also on like their podcast, I've just heard like a lot of their story, and they will be like, yeah, like they'll just be quick to own, I think, their parts in their story where they like made a mistake or messed up. And they'll have really honest conversations and be like, yeah, like I'm really sorry that I affected you like that, or like I hurt you. So they're just really good about, I think, validating each other's pain and giving space for that. They're not blaming or shaming of what happened, and they're just like really honest and real and give each other space, and are really good about seeing each other like putting themselves in each other's shoes and just seeing things from their perspective. So I really love that. They also have like a desire to grow as individuals, but also as a couple. And I really, really love that because, yeah, I think like Andrea said, sometimes people get married and they're like, all right, we did it. Like we're married, we're good. And like I just really admire couples that are continually growing and getting better. And you're like, wow, you were already great when you guys got married, but like, you know, 5-10 years in, look where you are now. So
That's so good.
I really love that mindset. So they're pretty great.
Yeah.
Love them.
And it's cool hearing their story because they used to be like kind of crazy. Like they would like yell at each other and stuff. Like
they had some rough patches.
But they stuck together through all of that and really committed to getting healthy. And yeah, it's just amazing. Now we get to reap the benefits of like how much they've fought for their marriage and their own health. And so
and
really cool.
Another thing I love about their marriage is, well, Abby's had Justin has at certain points too Abby's had ongoing health complications that have almost killed her at times. And they've talked about that. Like he literally has been like, okay, I have to process at times like what would happen if she passed because of her health complications. And so they've just like had to like go through like a lot of just hard times where one of them maybe is not functioning fully because of their health, and what do they do, and how do they have like a healthy marriage within those complications, you know, of health issues that are really serious. And so it's just real. Like you're just like, oh, this is real life. This is real love. This is real commitment and real sacrifice. Yeah.
It's almost like sacrifice is part of marriage.
Oh, what? I thought it was only about happiness.
Andrea.
Low key, I was kind of like, someone's just gonna sacrifice for me. That's how the Disney movies make me feel, but it's
Someone's
mutual,
just gonna
turns
kiss me
out.
and I'll wake up. That's what happens in Snow White.
Wake up. And that's
Exactly.
the person.
I'm just gonna lay here. Yeah.
You're it. Great.
Man, I wish I could just lay here. But anyway.
You will soon after this podcast.
Yeah. Sleep.
I meant like not having to date, but you're right. I probably extra want to lay here right now.
Yeah. Soon.
Yeah.
So, Trey, do you have another couple?
Well, I just want to say some things from my mom and dad.
Oh, you
I
guys.
know.
Sorry, I missed the memo.
It's okay, Kalli. They obviously didn't influence you.
Yeah, clearly I've learned nothing from my parents' marriage. No, they're
There's
wonderful.
just so many. There's so many good couples.
They're so great.
I actually want to talk about Kalli's mom and dad. My time with them was beautiful.
That's right.
That's
They
actually
did.
so good. You're like stealing her like parents.
Yeah, she's like, I want to talk about Kalli's parents.
Really enjoyed our chat with them.
Yeah.
We had a good chat at the dinner table.
We did.
Okay, but really, talking about my parents, I think what I really appreciate about them is kind of similar to what Lauren said. They just, I do know, and I knew as a kid, they are going to stick together. There was so much security in their marriage, and they're just two people that don't quit, honestly. Like they've been really faithful to each other. And my mom just really thinks about how to serve my dad, not in like a weird way, but like I think in a biblical way, honestly. Like and it's not like she was ever like the stereotypical like housewife or anything, but she did take on her role as a mom and as a wife in a way that I think fit with her strengths and her personality and stuff. And my dad too, I think just he was never, I feel like he was, I mean, maybe he was, but my experience was he was never threatened by my mom's strength. Like I've seen where she was supporting him as he went after things that were his dreams or maybe just his own, like, I don't know, not success, but just things that he wanted to grow in and pursue. Like she was maybe more the supporting role. And then now it's flipped a little bit where my dad's really supporting my mom as she goes after her dreams and things that she's wanted and her giftings. And so it's been really awesome to watch them just love each other that way and have seasons of where one, maybe supports a little bit more than the other. So that's been really beautiful. And I think it really is so huge. Like you take advantage, I think you take it for granted as a kid, but I'm like, I just always felt so much safety in my home. Like I felt so loved, and I felt like my parents loved each other. And even though they were never like overly like PDA or affectionate. Like I would say they were affectionate, but not in like a really overwhelming way. But I think it was more than anything, it was just this like security and like they're both so steadfast. And so it feels like their marriage is steadfast as well. And yeah, I think it was really amazing to get to have that as a kid, and I'm thankful for it now too. Like they're both just feel like a solid rock in a lot of ways. Like I want to call them when things feel crazy or chaotic or I don't know what to do, and it's really amazing to be able to have that. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. So love sweet. Your parents.
Yeah, they're
so
great.
Sweet. Yeah. Well, the last couple I want to talk about is Kalli's parents as well.
Good. They're the best. Go
Norman Corlin.
Norman Corlin.
Father of all fathers.
I mean, literally, he raised Katie and Kalli like
Does it
Dude,
get any
They're
better?
pretty good parents.
that's
They're
a
pretty good
testimony
parents.
right there. Yeah.
So, I mean, definitely amazing. Look who they are now. Thriving.
Thriving.
Thriving
Mhm.
women. So, okay. But my last couple I want to talk about tonight is my pastors, actually, Sue and
Mm.
Christian. So they co-pastor our church, and our church is filled with young families. Sue and Christian have 5 kids, and they are just so vulnerable, so real, so down to earth. And they're the pastors that I'm very proud to like bring people to. Like, I'm like, I want people to come to my church. And not
I
everyone can
love
say that
that.
about their church. Some people are like, oh, I'm a little nervous. I'm like,
Yep.
no, I'd bring anybody. Like, anyone
Wow.
can come. And I just appreciate who they are. I just think they're really down to earth. Like, they just don't put on a pedestal that they're pastors. Like, you wouldn't even know at times they're pastors. Like, I do community group with them, and like, it's just like my boyfriend goes to the community group as well, and he's like, you wouldn't even know that they were the pastors, like, just because of how they so care about empowering people and leadership. And they're really real. They talk about their real life struggles.
Yeah.
They tell on themselves in a sense of like ways they've messed up, and you're just like, oh, this is so nice, this is so refreshing, like, because it just shows, I think that's true leadership actually, is like inviting people into your mess and owning it and growing from it. And I just love the way that they steward relationships with other couples, as well as Sue really leading and loving women and building them up, and then Christian leading and loving and building men up. And I'm just like, they're a power couple. Like, they're just really doing it, and they're doing so many things with 5 kids, and just inviting people into all of it, like, all the time. They always are hosting events at their home, and it's just like Wild Town. And so I just love that they are so different as well, but they just work, and they really respect and love each other, and you can tell that. And so yeah, there's just something about them that I'm like, oh, this is just like so refreshing to have them. And to see two like people like really empowering one another as like a man and a woman, and like their giftings in the church. And so yeah, they're just great role models. So I really like them. We could keep going all night long.
Yeah.
So anything we want to wrap up, any thoughts that came about as we were talking about these people? It was really fun to pump up all these amazing humans.
So nice.
I know, right? Yeah. I think go ahead, Kalli.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think some things that have stood out to me are fun. It feels like we really
That might just be us.
we love but I feel like all these
who doesn't
couples
want to have fun?
Yeah.
True. Especially you have to live with them the rest of your life. You know what I
Might as
mean?
well pick somebody good.
Yeah. Otherwise, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Pick somebody you have fun with for sure, that you enjoy them. So fun's a big one. And then I feel like just being committed and just choosing locking in.
Yeah.
You know, going through all the seasons, the ups and downs, the crazy things that life throws at you, just deciding like, nope, we're doing this together, and kind of even letting go of that fantasy of like, well, what would it look like if I didn't have to stay in this, you know, or yeah, I wasn't like tied to this person or locked into this commitment. I feel like there's something about just deciding and locking in that it just really grows something beautiful. And then the last thing I would say is kind of what I touched on earlier, but like marriage is not the end goal.
Yeah.
Like, the end
something
goal
bigger.
the end goal is the kingdom. And if you're going after that together, and your marriage is about like loving people and bringing people in, and being hospitable, and looking for ways to like show up and serve. And I think you're gonna set yourself up for success, if I could say that as a single person.
Oh, it's so good. I'll just kind of bounce off of Andrea, but some of the other things I feel like were a theme were intentionality, affirmation, whether that's like, or or affirmation / like affection. I guess affection's the word.
Yeah. Those are the only 2 love languages actually that are acceptable.
That's
Except
right.
quality touch as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Lauren loves
Quality
touch, which that's affection, Lauren. So
I'm sorry.
don't even need to say it. Let's see. I was gonna say like a value for growth and being like a team.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think there was one other, but Lauren threw me off with the
Sorry. It was funny.
comment. It was good. It was worth it. And I already had 3 things, but yeah, those are some of the things I would say that seemed like a theme. So
yeah, I'll share some, and then if you have other ideas, Kalli.
Perfect.
But I think also a marriage that's like very community oriented, and so that is seeking to influence their community and their family. It's way beyond them, and then they're thinking about the other. They're laying down their life for the other person, and it's not about what can I gain from this, but like what can I give to you. Those marriages seem to be like the most thriving and life giving.
Yeah,
and so I'm just thinking about that.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So good.
Oh, Kalli, do you remember? I'm so sorry.
Okay,
I threw you off with my
you're
funny
good.
thing.
You're so good. No, I did think of it, but it kind of goes with what you were saying. It's just generosity. And I think just that kind of spirit of like what you have emotionally, physically, like you're able to give that to other people. Because we've all talked about, we've spent time with couples that have really like gone out of their way to love us, when it's like, okay, you could be doing so many other things right now, but you're intentionally taking time to pour into me right now. So there's that spirit of just being available and open and generous. That's really impactful.
So good.
Yeah.
Aww.
Love it.
Influencers.
Shout out to our influencers mentioned on this podcast.
Way better than any Instagram influencers. You're the real deal.
Exactly. Even though some that we shouted out, we did shout out are kind of influencers.
I mean,
some
whatever.
Of them, but
yes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's true.
Just depending what circle you're in.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, Dre, we need to get you to bed for reals.
It's time.
For realsies.
Tuck you in.
Hopefully you guys can piece together my thoughts.
They were great.
Okay,
they were great. I loved it.
Yes.
I loved Camp Dre on this podcast.
Yeah, bring her back again.
We're running on 3 hours of sleep over here. So 3 hours of sleep and a 45-minute nap.
And 3 cheese sticks.
Cheese,
Don't forget the 3 cheese sticks who really made this show possible.
Thank you.
Yeah. So if you're out there, thanks for tuning in. Shout out to my youth girls. Shout out to the influencers. And if you're listening to this podcast, we love you and we will see you next time.
Bye.